Howdy! We're doing a game review, mostly with a focus on CptClutch here. I've watched this a time already and forgot to hit record. Another time when I forgot to unmute my microphone. So this is my 1.5 time watching this. So I have some insights. You know, in hindsight is 20/20 when I'm watching this thing and all that. So it is what it is. But so first things first, the composition here. I want to take a moment to say this. Our composition is a little bit weird. We've got half dive and half anchor. Genji and Ball are going to want to dive, whom we have nobody to support healing wise. We have no long range healing. So in order for them to get any heals, they either have to come back, which significantly reduces their downtime or their uptime, or less so for Ball. That's totally fine. Genji could play with the team too, but I would generally like to play a long-range support with those so that you can support from a distance. So either Ana is really good because you can get nano blades going on and it's just generally nice, and you can be flexible in healing both long range and short range, or Zenyatta. Zenyatta can heal Ball really well because you throw an orb on him and he like bobs and weaves in on your line of sight, so he tends to keep the orb for a long time. And then of course Genji with the orb on him allows him to pressure a lot more, and an orb on the enemy target allows him to get resets more. So either Zen or Ana would be a really good pick here. But you know, hindsight again is 20/20, and I also can see the enemy's composition. So also against the Junkrat, Lucio is just, in my opinion, not good because Junkrat loves when your team groups up, and he loves to just spam in the general vicinity of a large number of people, and just by nature of numbers, and he just gets damage for free. And being Lucio, you encourage exactly what he wants you to do. Of course, you didn't have the foresight to know that they had a Junkrat, so you don't really know that. You're just now seeing that. But I would say the first thing that you come out and see a Junkrat, you're like, all right, this is Lucio and a Junkrat, not ideal. So you'd be looking to switch. They also have a Torbjorn, so I would try and call out for a Zarya here because she can prevent all of the burst damage from Junkrat, and she can punish the either difficult to control damage, right? The spam that Junkrat likes to do can be easily absorbed with shields, and then the Torb turret as well, as you can just walk into line of sight and hit shift on yourself, or when other people are walking in line of sight of the turret, you can hit bubble on them, and you get free ult charge. So I would, as the support, I think it's important to try and call these things out. I think you're in probably the best position to have a picture of the whole scenario and what the strengths and weaknesses are of your composition. So do try and keep in mind of that. So let's see what happens here. So you got your speed boost on. There's a lot of people injured. You switch to healing boost. Great. Healing everybody up. Trying to spam shields. It's hard. You want to contribute to shields in this case because we do have a hit scan. That's me looking for headshots. So if you can kill the shield, good, amp it up. You're getting good ult charge here, 22%. You're actually pretty high on the ult charge, relatively. Trying to support this guy. So you want to support your tank. You should be... See, this is really awkward for you because you need to stay close to your tank in order to heal him, which puts you in a really threatening, compromising position. But there you go. So again, Lucio, not ideal versus the Junkrat because you need to stay close, and he loves when people stay close because he can just lob grenades and eventually he'll find someone if they're all grouped up. If he's against a Junkrat, you actually want to play a spread out composition. You want to have people that are all over the place so that he has to pick who he's shooting at, and that one person can just decide not to, or just to evade, basically, and he gets no effectiveness. If you all group up, you're likely to hit someone. I'm feeding. I walk out in the middle of, out for no reason, without a shield, and get sniped by an Orisa of all people. So So you're supporting your tank. So we have a Baptiste, or sorry, I was begging the answer there. We have a Bastion, which really wants a Baptiste. That's what's my recommendation. I think that's a really synergistic couple because he makes himself vulnerable by becoming very still, and you throw a lantern on him. You've seen the OWL games. You know how it goes. Lots of people need healing. You're trying to heal them, but the Junkrat burst is just too much. Lucio can't keep up. You almost have beat, which is good. So that's where it becomes a little bit difficult. You don't want to switch because you have ult, but you're also not being effective. It's not the most optimal pick. You're having a difficult time getting value. If you're getting an ult once every 3 lives, might be a signal to kill. Or to switch to a different hero. So you want to switch to healing here. Okay, you're getting healed by... So you're Lucio. You can be on the walls here. Oops. You also have speed boost to get out of that. Oops. That was avoidable. We have beat. It's fine. Mistakes were made. Hopefully learn from. So we just need to group up. We need to back up, not use any resources. We're wasting shield here. This is just a poor push. See, we're down an Orisa, right? So we're 5v6. So this is just a disadvantageous situation. 5 versus 6 is just not ideal. Like, we now don't have a shield, whereas we could have, as Orisa's coming in. Not ideal. I like the Pharah switch here, so they're going to pick on me, which is my fault. Again, I'm feeding. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the Pharah is an excellent pick here. She can direct shot a lot of these people. You can get up and around the shield so she can flank and ignore them. She's really good against the Torb turret. It's a stationary target, so you can get direct hits every time. Junkrat has a very difficult time shooting her in the air. So all around a solid pick in the Pharah. So I would say you want to support that. You want to identify the strengths of your own team and try to support them to victory. That's the role of support. So at this point, pick Lucio again, not good at healing people that are spread out, which is exactly what we need to do against the Junkrat. So anything that can heal long range. Mercy is great, obviously, to support the Pharah. Mercy or Zen could work because you can throw an orb on her and help her do stuff. Also, Anna can do okay in a pinch. It's not ideal because you have to keep focus switching up high ground, like up in the air and down low, and it makes it difficult to do your job effectively and output the healing numbers that you want to do as Anna, but still better, right? You can actually heal her versus Lucio cannot. Like, alright, so we are just losing people left and right. We're having a real hard time pushing in against this Junkrat. So you use beat here. So we got 2 picks, actually. So Moira and Pharah. So in this case, I would say don't ult. We already have such an advantage, and we don't really have much threat against us. I get what you're doing in the sense that, like, oh, we have an advantage, let's press it, let's use all of our abilities, let's win, let's finally take this point. But I find Lucio's ult, I don't play a whole lot of Lucio, so whatever, take it for a grain of salt, but I find that it's really good for, like, a counter ult. Like, if they engage or use a bunch of resources or an ult or something like that, it's great to counter all that. But another thing is too, like, look at our positioning here, right? So you used beat, but look how far back we are, right? So by the time we engage, we will have already lost a good chunk of the beat that, because it decays over time, right? So let's see, like,
30 seconds.
We push in aggressively. Speed boost, but look, none of us are taking any damage, right? So those shields didn't do anything. Now the fight's here. Wee! Flying Moira. Um, I don't think it'll matter in the long run, so like it's kind of a moot point, but just in general, right? Like we have
Justice reigns from above.
oh, Junkrat ult. See, you could ult the tire. You could beat the tire. I think that would prevent kills. So he gets a triple. I don't know how much the tire does. I think beat can counter tire. I think they try it. This is where we actually take the point. But damn, they got it to overtime. That is a solid hold on their part. We had a real hard time with that. Alright, so you switch to Ana at this point. That's good. We've got Soldier. Again, though, I would prefer the Pharah. I'm sorry, the Mercy or Zen. I feel like they can more reliably heal the Pharah, because you can... yeah, it's just a little bit more difficult on the Mercy, or on the Ana. So, either way. So I am looking for flank. I should go to your perspective, actually. Let's see here. Where are you? There you go. Alright, so let's watch your positioning here, because I remember watching the previous one. So they anti... So you're healing anti-targets, it's fine, it's not... whatever, like, you could save that ammo. Oh, nice anti. Slow, watch your positioning, so that's good. You see the low target, you're healing, good job. Did a little bit of damage there, getting some ult, that's good too. Applying a little bit of pressure. Anytime you can be a little bit aggressive, that works. You're looking for me. Good sleep, but nobody's around to capitalize. So it is what it is. We're pushing the cart, which is good. That shouldn't be happening, because they should be holding it. But... So there's good anti. Shoot, way too aggressive. Overextending. So you're frontlining here. I get that we have an advantage and we're pushing, but no need for that. It's risky. Like, with this guy and this guy, like, a couple left clicks or a rock and a left click from this guy. Is he nanoed? Was he? Dangerous. Your positioning, you're on the front line right here. If any bullets come in there, you're taking them. So you have flexible positioning as Ana. So you want to be ideally on high ground, so they have to expend resources or time. Resources in either the form of time or some mobility cooldown to get to you. If possible, see, you could be up here with me, and then you'd have the support of my healing in a pinch, and you'd also just be in a safer position in general. But you're doing fine. Okay, so good position here. So when you're firing like this is good because you're like far away, right? You're at a decent position. You've got cover here if you want to do it. You want to basically you want to be as long range as possible, or like that you can be while having cover as an option, and also maintaining line of sight with all of your allies, and that your allies won't soon move it out of position. With Ana, a lot of it is anticipating the movements of your allies, because if they move out of line of sight, you know, you're not going to be able to heal them. So you need to either communicate that, or just be in a position where you can hopefully move relatively closely. You constantly need to be able to be communicating when people are out of line of sight. So you're pressuring the D.Va, which is good. Good stuff here. We got a good barrage coming in. We've got Coalesce coming in. You are... Let's see what you're doing. Pressuring. Do what you gotta do. I mean, this looks like a pretty much one fight. We've got... Oh, but they got reinforcements coming. But look at that. Look at that ult, though. Damn. Your positioning is really close again here. You have the option of being back here. Like, see how far back I am? You should be with me. Maybe further. You're a sniper, you know? But I do know that you get a really, really clutch anti here, which is solid. That just seals the deal. Good follow-up there. You wouldn't have been able to do that as easily from far away. You can. So we lost our other healer, so you're the only one. But we're doing fine. Cool, so we get it. Here's where I would switch off the Pharah, call for it. If you you can, because Farah's not great at this point. You've got roofs, you've got closed walls and stuff. Like, it's very difficult for Farah to do Farah things, and you leverage her mobility. So we're pressuring shield here. We're moving up. Tanks should be up further. We should be claiming this territory. We have advantage here.
This will heal
Shields should be set up here. We need to force them back. I don't know why our tank line is backing up here. But it is what it is. Here, I'll go to first perspective for you. So you have
Tactical visor
ult.
activated.
So you're waiting for me. We communicated this. This is really good.
You're powered up. Get in
Drop an
there.
ult on me. Excellent.
I'm feeling unstoppable.
Good anti.
I'm under attack.
Your positioning though. Okay. So notice where you are. I know that you're pushing the cart, which is excellent. But you're not Reinhardt. And I don't know why our tanks are... I guess they're trying to focus on the D though, which is decent. But see, you're on the front line and you're taking tank damage and getting lower and lower. And Moira is not healing you. There we go. Now you guys heal each other, which is good. But risky. Farah gets wrecked by the McCree. Yet another reason not to play Farah. They've finally switched to a hit scan that can punish her. And again, your positioning super aggressive. Your shield's back here. Your tank's back there. You could be and should be again up where I am, probably playing back here with this cover right here. Maybe even here, because probably more like here, right? Around this corner. Totally safe. You can heal me, you can heal the tank, and you have no risk of being shot. Here, literally, their McCree can shoot you, their Batiste can shoot you, their tank can shoot you, their other DPS can shoot you. Very risky. So you back up a little, you're playing the shield, it's good. Playing the cart, but moving up.
My barrier is destroyed.
Play back with me. I've got a healing station and stuff if you need it, and stuff like that won't happen.
60 seconds remaining.
That was a definitely preventable death.
Routing power to forward shield.
Cease your resistance.
And then we ulted when we have only one support.
Defense mode activated.
That was a battle
It's hand. Draw.
and lost fight. We need to reset at this point. So they have way too many numbers and we have none, but we're probably going to continue. And that's the other thing. As a support, like, you know, when you and the support go down, it's call us out. Like, if it's a lost fight, call retreat. Communication is very key as support.
30 seconds remaining.
Alright, so Diva gets fairly extended here. We should be able to punish this. Rock, yep. She's very low. We demech her. This is good. Orb comes in. That's going to get a lot of value. Coalesce comes in. That's going to get a lot of value. Tanks need to be way more forward than this. McCree comes in. Boom. Stun. Left click. Left click. Now, that wasn't necessarily your fault, but it's because it did look like an aggressive situation where we're pushing. And so, not the like,
30 seconds remaining.
but avoidable. Again, like if you're playing long range, he doesn't have that option. You don't want to play close up in flashbang range, right? So here you are moving up, and instead you could be using this opportunity where there's a lot of pressure. You don't need to heal here, right? Like, you've got Coalesce. She can handle this. So you can take that opportunity when there's a lot of pressure on the board to just use the reposition action. You know, like, you sacrifice your attack, you go over here for a little bit, say, hey guys, I'm going to reposition, I can't heal you for a sec, come up here. Get up on this high ground. It makes it a lot more difficult for McCree to pressure you. You can play this corner, you can peek him and shoot him. You wait until he's not aggroing you. You come out, you peek, shoot him one time, peek, shoot him 2 times. If he headshots you, you're fine. You're not going to die in one headshot. So then you just grenade yourself here, You can continue to pressure or take a more conservative position back here and support your team from this sight line where there's absolutely no threat whatsoever. Um, so very aggressive positioning and it gets punished. Avoidable. So hopefully we can learn a little something from that. So we end up losing that fight despite
10
having
seconds
ults and pressure.
remaining.
We've got 10 seconds remaining, and I think this is a dead push. We've got only 3 people low. Yeah.
I've got you.
Still on the Ferret too, which is not ideal against the McCree in tight quarters. I mean, it's not bad against the Torbjorn because you can take out the turrets regularly, like pretty consistently, and that's pretty nice. But you know, that's what it is.
Initiating match. Ready for battle.
Let's speed into the combat here.
Ready for battle.
All right, so Batiste with the. All right, let's look at the composition again. So Batiste with this one looks great. We are very bunkery, so we're all going to be pretty grouped up. So that means you can heal everyone really well. We have the Hanzo. I picked that, I think, because of the Torbjorn. It's very easy to take out the turrets with just charged shots from long range. You can hit stationary targets every time. Also decent against the Junkrat because you're an okay flanker. But we're here to talk about you. So, good pick given the composition. I like it. We'll see how it goes.
5, 4, 3, 2,
So
1.
your role primarily,
Attackers
stay alive, stay
incoming.
safe, stay behind
Defend objective A.
here. Stay here. That way you can always keep your primary target, this guy, in line of sight. Because otherwise he might be low and it's difficult to know. You want all the information at your disposal that you can get. So the shield here not really helping our Bastion not really playing with the shield. So what happens? Guaranteed direct hits if you're not really bad. So there's a direct hit, another direct hit, another direct hit, and you don't know it because you're looking down this sight line. So again, play the sight lines where you have the information that you need to help your team, because you need to be over here supporting him and dropping lanterns at a moment's notice. You need to play in this cover right here so that you can throw a lantern right here, which is totally unkillable by them and makes this guy invulnerable, essentially. So now you're coming back to support him, which is good. So you're pumping in heals. So you want to be on the back line. So here, it's because you were so far over here when your team repositioned. Now you're lagging a little in position, and you are essentially frontlining again, which is not ideal. And let's see what happens. So you make it out, which is good, but risky. If that Junkrat or Brig or anybody else had collapsed on you a little bit faster, it could have been death. Which is, this game is a lot about mitigating risk. Another thing, you have, which number are you? This one? There we go. Oh, dang it. There we go. What the heck's happening? There we go. Are half health. You have shift and lantern. You don't need to use your lantern here because you're fine, but hit shift. Anytime you're wounded, unless you're being actively healed, hit shift. Because you are a valuable asset and you can't die. And again, play the line of sight where you can actually support your Bastion. You're playing over here, you can see one target. You have to turn in order to see them, but then you're turning your back to the enemy, and you don't know what threats they're throwing at you. Stand behind your tanks and behind the DPS that you want to support. So again, you can hit shift here. That would heal 3 of you. It would enable your Bastion to have comfort in this. It would give your tank a little extra healing. The heal over time just gives everybody a little bit of extra insurance and survival, right? So again, you're really low. You're quarter health and use lantern. And you have shift. So I would prioritize using shift over lantern every time. Shift is just good. It gives you ult, right? Heals you, gets you up to full health. And Lantern is just more valuable. Like it can counter ults, it can help your Bastion stay alive. You finally use Shift. That's good. But don't be so conservative with that ability. I would say, like, if you've taken any like chip damage and you're not being actively healed, go ahead and use it. So again, a really aggressive positioning here. You're given like him over here and Ryan over here. You're frontlining again. You want to be. You can have high ground. You can hit shift. You can jump up here. You could be up there, and then that would give you line of sight over everybody. You'd be safer. And the Bastion dies. I don't think you had Lantern anymore because you used it earlier. You could use shift instead. Maybe dropped it on your Bastion. You also want to be communicating with your Bastion. You want to tell him where it is that you're going to be, where he should be, so that you can drop a Lantern. Your tank needs healing and you're left clicking. It can be fine. That can be a valid strategy, legit. Like, and even to the point of letting your tank die. They're sturdy. They have survival tools. If there is an advantage that can be pressed, left clicking is viable. But in general, try and keep your tanks healed up to full, and then DPS. Unless you think that you can get a kill or something like that. So I think we've already lost this by this point. I throw some things in the reason. Our Bastion gets back. So you're back. Okay. Alright, let's go from your perspective now. How are you, yeah, what the heck? So throw Lantern immediately in this situation. Everybody's so low. Which you do. But unfortunately it was a little late, I think. Let me back it up so we can see what was happening from your perspective here. So you get up on high ground, which is cool. I like that approach. It's a safe approach. It gives you high ground and cover. So you can play right here and peek out as little or as much as you need to provide the support or DPS to your allies and enemies. So I like the opportunity that you took there to leverage the ability there to get on high ground. That was good. So let's see what happens. And again, I know this is easier to say in slow motion from the third person in hindsight, having watched this multiple times, but that's how we learn. We watch these things and we see what we can do. So again, you're focusing on DPS, and he uses his ult. So as soon as he uses his ult, I would say that's a time when you take a more defensive posture. You should be looking over here, watching your allies, because you could heal him. He doesn't really need it right now, but you could heal Mercy too. So you do turn, and you could also drop a Lantern, which is huge for his ult, and just prevent kills. Right? So that was awesome. That was a really good shot there. You pre-aimed it. So again, you heal both of them. This is good. But there's so much risk going on here with the ult having been used, the Reinhardt having charged. Like, there was a lot that was telegraphed. And so those are good opportunities to use a Lantern because those are good. That's a good counter move to a lot of really projected attacks. So you could have saved that Zarya's life. But, you know, again, hindsight and slow motion are easy. And here, again, shift. Even though you don't need it, think of it kind of like a Lucio amp it up. I think I said, I don't know if I said this, I said it in the previous watch when I wasn't recording, but think of it like an amped it up. It boosts your overall healing. You could be healing that, your I don't even know what it's called, his shift ability, could have been healing Bastion the whole time, and probably could have saved his life. So don't be so shy about using that ability, and it has a surprising amount of range. And this fight's pretty much lost. I like what you did here. That's really good. You jumped on the point. You forced them to deal with you. You stall as much time as you can. That's the right choice. So, good job there. Some people I've seen, you know, will just stay up here and just keep shooting and whatnot. Nah. Alright, so let's see what happens now. Speed it up. Alright, so you're back. I like this position, actually. Stay on the high ground. Force them to use resources, either in the form of time or cooldown, to come get you. Alright, so we got the Mercy to support the Fair now. This is pretty good against the... They got McCree and Soldier, though, so they've doubled down on the hit scan against the Fair Mercy combo. We're not ideal. So your tank is super low. Let's see what happens here from your perspective. I should have... wish there was a way to back it up a little less. So your tank is low.
Everyone heal up.
You got a headshot there, which is good, but your tank is low. You should be prioritizing healing your tank, which you do. You turn. You miss, which is fine. That's gonna happen. But there you go. See, be deliberate in your shots. That was much better. I saw you like waiting on that one and actually like read the movements, right? It's a pretty wide area. That close, realistically, there's probably not much reason to miss other than just not taking the time to think about your shot. Rushing your shot, essentially.
For your own safety, get behind
So
the
you're doing good here. You're applying pressure, both to your healers, both as a healer and as a potential DPS. Your Zarya could have been topped off there, but all good there. Lantern, shift, all the cooldowns right now. No, yeah, see, once they start using ults, that's when you drop the Lantern. You could have prevented a lot here, maybe even turned the fight. Pretty clutch moment that we could have used those. We're a little late on the Lantern there, but it is what it is. So, and again, I know it's critical, but that's kind of the nature of the commentary, and hindsight is 20/20. But hopefully these are some things that you can learn from. All right, so they're escorting in. Zarya is super low. What are you doing? What are you doing? You got 5 health. Get the hell out of there. I'm a hero. No, I'm just kidding. Feeding. So Ryan is doing a crazy good job of pressuring us here. You drop a Lantern, which is pretty sweet. I should have watched this from your perspective, but this is already a shitty situation. Look at our health bars. Not ideal. So we got a Doomfist now. I don't know what that's about. I don't know why that pick was a good idea. Yeah, you're dead. They've got a McCree, my dude. You ain't gonna do nothing against that.
Pardon me.
We've got a contest. You move out, you get stunned. We got a Lantern. Monkey gets in too late. We're already down a tank. Shitty engage from us as in a team entirely. That was just poor communication. Zarya should not have got in. But it is what it is. So we lost that one. This is where I switched to Symmetra to cook the double shield. Okay. Let's look from your perspective here.
Maintain that positive attitude.
We lost our McCree, or our Doomfist to the McCree. Alright, so you're coming out here. But we're down 1. Good Lantern there. Good healing. Hit the shift. That's awesome. That's what I like to see. Use those cooldowns, man. They're there to be used.
Let them up.
Use the ult. Awesome. See, like when you use your cooldowns too, you can get a hell of a lot more ult more quickly. Nice. Kill your Zarya. Got him. Oh, that wasn't your fault. You did fine. He was... That was his own fault. But I think we lost this fight already. We're down 2.
I require healing.
It's a tough hold. Hit shift again. Good. There you go. See, like honestly, if you're playing Overwatch right, you should be using your abilities on cooldown. Because you're maximizing their usage, but that said, you don't want to actually use them on cooldown. You use them on cooldown when you can get value out of them. So drop your Lantern here. Nope, you don't need it. So good conservation there. Knowing when you need them and when not to use them is an art. Oof. That was just unlucky. That wasn't really your fault. And we won that fight. So actually, good turn there. We're getting picks. Got 2. Our Doomfist just died for free. I gotta see what that is. Hold on. I gotta back that one up because I didn't see what that happened there.
Our enemies return.
Because we had won the fight. Oh, let's see this. We got not okay. Uppercut. Neat.
Get into position.
Bye. Not this guy is okay. I just had to see that.
Double kill.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. It's whatever. Mistakes were made. Alright, so you're showing up on the scene. We're down a Doomfist, but they're not even pushing across. They're pushing across the bridge right now, so he should be back in time. We've got 3 minutes to hold. It's going to be a tough hold. I know we don't. So, positioning. This is difficult for you because the tank is here. And the only line of sight you can have to there is here, which is not ideal because there's a lot of threat lines here. You got people that can advance on you from this side. You got 2 advancement opportunities right here. So at that point, Monkey is on his own. And I would say that. I would say like, hey, I can't heal you, Monkey. I'm backing out. And then I would... high ground is nice, but then you're way far over here, and if you have to retreat, the way that your team is going to retreat is this way. So I would be playing back this way. Play this corner so that you can still use your aggressive option when it makes sense, but try and keep your allies in your field of view so that you can support them when needed, and try and keep them topped off. So let's see. So yeah, the positioning yourself on the left here, risky. Because if they rotate left, which I think they're doing right now, yep, you are exposed. So whereas, I guess I was suggesting here, which is not much different, but you could play here on the stairs, in which case you could wrap around here and get to cover not too, and not too long. So let's see what goes on here. So they drop the high noon, you drop the lantern,
Reality bends to my will.
you heal our guy, this is good. You're being brave with the lantern up, which is fine. You should be hitting shift to heal yourself and others. Ryan positions himself aggressively. Our tank got a kill on the ulting soldier, which is great. Good job, Heretic. So you're in an awkward position now because you're flanked. You're shooting a shield, which isn't particularly helpful. Probably there was a call to kill the Rhine, which is why you turned, but good healing there. Yeah, it's not your responsibility to kill the Reinhardt unless he drops his shield. Nice. See, that's when you want to do it, right? He's dropped his shield, he's gone full aggression. You can punish that. You can collect some ult charge and kill him. If he's got his shield up, there's no point in you shooting it generally, unless you're just kind of like, unless you have nothing else to do. That's like your last option. Contributing to shield is always nice. Like, you've got a left click. If everybody's topped off, go for it. You know, it's certainly better than standing there with the thumb up your butt. So here again, shift. I would use it. You're low. They're low. She's healing you, which is fine, but you could get ult charge from that. I guess you already have ult, so that's fine. But generally, don't be afraid to use it. Contributing to shield damage, good. Lots of people are low. Again, your monkey's making it a little bit difficult for you to heal him. So this is dangerous here because you don't want to walk up right here, because if this Ryan decides to charge, which he's been prone to do, it's an aggressive, suicidal option, but he's been wanting to do it. It's risky. I'm going to watch that sightline. So you're low. Anytime you're half, see how low you are here? Hit shift. You can heal yourself. Do it. Don't wait for your Moira to heal you. It enables you to be more, like, be safer.
Surrender to my will.
So we lost our monkey. Unlucky.
Get into position.
I didn't see why. Let's back it up here.
I found.
Monkey's low, aggressive. He's playing that right room, which is really risky. I mean, I guess what else do you do as Monkey? I mean, as Monkey, I would be up here. Like right here. He should be left-clicking everybody as they come through this thing. Keep your jump cooldown in case shit gets really... if you get low, you can hop out. But you should be playing back here again. Play this cover here so that you have an out. You always want to think about, like, if shit goes down, like, where's my cover, where's my safe zone, how do I get out?
Need healing.
So alright, I think this is where I was talking about you hitting shift.
Let
Yep,
them up.
because you're low. And if they throw a fire strike or something like that, you're within threat range of the kill. And that's just a risk that you don't need to take. You've got. It's better to use the cooldown than to risk getting killed. So a lot of people, I think, are low behind you. You're focusing on a shield when people are being quite threatened. So I don't know that you could have prevented that. Do you have a lantern? You do. So that was preventable. So we'll see this again.
Smashed up.
So
Видебаль суё.
Огонь по готовности.
so we've got a couple ults going on.
Get into position.
Did we just grab? Is that what I heard? Did it get eaten or something? I think it got eaten. Nah, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by what you're doing, but I need to hear this because I heard the I want to see what happened here.
Видебаль суё.
So you drop the ult, which is great. That's a great place to put it too. Great pressure there.
Огонь по
I'm spamming through.
готовности.
This is my will.
He threw it from all the way over there right into the existing. Okay, I gotta see this in extra slow motion now, because this is just.
This will heal made real.
When is it?
Видебаль суё.
So you drop the ult, which is great.
The barrier no
Happens
longer
now, I
exists.
think.
Огонь
He
по
hits shift
готовности.
already. It was already up. And Zarya decides to do a 1,000-mile grab in a position where nobody can capitalize. Not to mention that gulp, it gets eaten. That's unlucky.
Gale de Mahal.
That's not unlucky, that's just bad. That's just poor planning, poor strategy, just not good.
Get into position.
So we have. Oof. That was awkward.
Oh,
That Rhine is so low though. And look at that. The freaking Zarya was in front of the Rhine shield, who is currently at 1 health. Eesh.
Gale de Mahal.
But again, this is a review for not them. So in this situation, there was an audio cue for the ult. Your Zarya is already low. You're shooting a shield, and you have lantern. You're moving forward to get out of the ult, which is good, but you need to also be focusing on salvaging whoever might else be caught in it. We've got 3 people that are low, and you're DPSing a shield. Not ideal. So work on your prioritization there, because one gets killed instantly. You could be healing that Zarya right now. You could be dropping a lantern at your feet to save his life. Boom. And then you could be collecting a ton of ult
Elementary
and
application.
turning that fight. An opportunity to be the even more of the Captain Clutch. And this is just me trying to salvage. Yeah, so
Victory.
that's it. Those are my thoughts. Hopefully there were some things learned. Hopefully this was informative. Let me know. I'll talk to you about it later. Peace.